Hi everyone, I'm Cerise.
I'm Joe, and today we are taking on a question that we received from our previous video. This comes from Yasmin or Jasmine. I'm not sure how exactly to pronounce your name, so forgive me. But the heart of the question was, this person is in a work environment, and in this work environment, person A has a very diplomatic, very calm way of addressing person B. But person B tends to be hostile and reactive, and basically they're being a dick to person A. So the question is, what do you do when someone else is being hostile to you and being rude to you, and you're kind of already going out of your way to be careful about how you speak, your tone of voice, and how to remain professional and all of that? How do you reconcile that conflict? So we're going to talk about exactly how and share some dimensions to consider.
So the first question that you need to ask yourself, and this is true for any situation, is who are you? Who am I in this situation? Yes, the other person may be behaving in a certain way that I don't like, but have I changed myself trying to adapt to them? Have I been trying to manage them in our interactions? Have I been submissive? Have I been overly dominant? Have I been subtly dominant or submissive? Is there some part of you or some part of your expression that has a not so clear starting point?
Yeah, and it can be subtle. One example would be, I remember when I was working in an office, and there was one specific employee where every time I met them, because we had to talk to each other to negotiate things and work things out, there would always be this point of conflict. And within me, I also had those moments where I would try to tiptoe around and not get them reactive. But see, what I wasn't looking at was, why was I feeling uncomfortable with them and their tone of voice and who they were? Even if they were speaking towards me with some energy, with some antagonism, who was I within that? And it was only when I started to look at that for myself that I started to begin the process of really letting go of trying to change the other person or trying to change my behavior to influence the other person. Rather, I started to embrace that other person as they are. And I started to see much more of them. I started to understand the kind of pressure that they're under. I started to understand that how they are towards me has nothing to do with me personally, but in that environment, I am unfortunately perhaps a target for them to lash out because they couldn't do that to customers. So as I started to understand this more and more, I started to let go of my want for them to be a certain way. Rather, I started to focus on how can I remain stable even if they are coming to me with anger, even if I've changed my tone of voice and gone out of my way to be helpful, can I still do that regardless? Is that my expression, or is that me reacting to them still?
Why would you say that it's important to check your personal state and your reactions within these situations? Like, for example, if you're trying to go out of your way to be nice to someone, why is it important to be aware of your starting point within that?
As long as your starting point is not clear. For example, if you're wanting to change your tone of voice and your behavior so that you don't have to face how you feel when this person is mean to you, that is going to create conflict because you're not actually standing at a point of self-change, self-responsibility, and self-authority. You're still giving the other person the power, so to speak, to influence you. Because as long as they keep not changing, a part of you is still going to hold on to that conflict point of, oh, but why aren't they doing this? Why aren't they doing that? Why are they like this? Not looking at who you are, standing at point of no matter what, even if this other person doesn't change, it will not affect you or your decision in how you decide to express yourself. Your statement of being here, calm, not taking anything personally, keeping it very professional, that should be your expression. And no one else's experiences or reactions towards you should change that.
Bottom line is, who you are has the potential to influence a situation in any part of your life, because you start working with an energy game, with that back and forth of words, of energy being thrown. And as subtle as it can be, the effects of it, such as in an example like this of conflict, can be significant. And the question that you can ask yourself within that is, do you really want to be this person who is responding in a way that feels like you have no control of, where it feels like you are being overwhelmed by the experiences that come up within you in relation to the situations that you're in? When you meet someone, are you the one who's actually directing the situation, or is your fear of conflict causing you to behave and speak in a certain way? And that's what you need to ask yourself. Which of those do you want to be? Do you want to be the reactive expression of yourself, or do you want to be the directive expression of yourself and really stand within that point of self-responsibility of, who am I in this moment? What am I going to express? What am I going to say? How am I going to say it? And make that choice within absolute clarity of who you are and what you choose for yourself.
Yeah, and you'll notice the difference when you are who you are as your expression. That is very stable, and other things don't influence you or change you. When you notice that you're changing your tone for a specific person, for a specific purpose, one thing that can happen is, if that person has gotten used to you being a certain way around them, and you guys have already created kind of a history of your dynamic of conflict, that person might still go to you to play that out, because for them, that could be a point where they're trying to work out internal things that they haven't sorted out. So when you're reacting to them and trying to be calm or trying to make peace with them, that could actually trigger them more and want to play out their conflict with you more. So again, it comes back to your starting point. Are you wanting to change that experience because the experience makes you uncomfortable? Or are you going to live your decision of who you are no matter what, despite the other person maybe not even responding to you the way you would like? Will you let that change you? And you may notice that as you drop that, the other person might find that they can't go to you and have that same play out anymore.
So it's not ever about another person. It's not ever about that someone else who is representing particular experiences within you. They are simply that. They are representing something that you need to deal with within yourself. So use those people, use those opportunities in your life as ways to reflect on, what do you still need to deal with? How can you develop yourself in such a way that you use conflict, arguments, experiences of fear, or experiences of authority as a reflection on yourself to see how you can still change, what you can still improve on. And you can, within that, become grateful for these difficult and challenging situations that you face in your life, because now, instead of them being things to fear because you're going to be having these experiences, there are things that you can use to learn more about yourself and opportunities for you to grow, for you to see parts of yourself that you had not yet seen, or parts of yourself that you still need to work on changing.
Yep. So we hope that those open up some things for you to look at and consider and play with as you face this person again. And let us know if anything was unclear or if you have any other questions. If you guys like what we do and how we look at things, you can become our supporters by signing up to Patreon and becoming one of our patrons. That'll help us keep doing what we're doing.
And please remember to like, share, and subscribe to our videos and channel, and help us get all over on the internet.
All over it.
All over the place.
All
like
up in it,
everywhere.
all of it.
So that we're like jumping out at people, like they open up their browser and it's just
Joe and Cerise.
There
That's
we are.
what we want.
Yeah, that'd be
Help
be
us
nice.
get there.
Yeah, thanks, guys. See you next time.